Hey guys, what is going on? I hope you all are doing well today. My name is Elliot and I want to welcome you back to another episode of The Fragrance Well. So today's topic is going to be a review or a first impression, if you will, of Carolina Herrera's Men Pasion. This is the latest release from them. I think it is the latest limited edition release from the Men line. I'm just going to give my first impressions of it. I have worn it on my skin a couple of times, but I haven't given it a full wear yet. So I would not consider this a full review yet. So it is a first impression. We're going to talk about it right now. All right, so let's get into it. Men Pasion. Okay, show you the bottle real quick. The bottle construction is very nice. I don't think the box is worth showing. It's your standard cardboard fragrance box, so there's nothing special about it, so I'm not gonna waste your time showing that. It does have this leather wrap on it. It doesn't feel like a high quality leather, but it does look very nice. I actually really like the color scheme. There's nothing on the back, just some stitching. The cap is solid, has a nice kind of standard weight to it. It's not super heavy, it's not magnetic, but it does click into place. I like the color scheme. Got CH on the top, going in both directions. You got your information on the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. You can see the juice is kind of like a bronze color, almost. But yeah, it's a very solid bottle. Feels very nice in the hand. Yeah, so good bottle construction. I do like the overall presentation of it. Obviously, the CH is on the front as well. All right, so the atomizer on it seems to be pretty decent. I'm gonna see if you guys can see it. I'm not sure if you can. Yeah. Decent spray, kind of more of a jet stream kind of spray. Give it a smell here. I really like this fragrance. I think it is a great release from them. I think it's one of the best releases for the year so far, particularly in the designer realm. Still plenty of stuff I haven't gotten my nose on yet, but I have smelled most of the newer designer releases, and this is very good. Yeah, so what you're gonna get from this one is you're gonna get some woodiness, a touch of powderiness, and a nice smooth sweetness. I'm gonna look at the notes off of the Carolina Herrera website. They list the top notes as pink pepper, neroli, the heart notes as incense and cedarwood, and the bottom notes as vanilla and tonka bean. On Parfumo though, I do see a lot more other stuff listed, and I do think that's more indicative of what's happening, but I'm just gonna base it off of those notes. So without trying to reference the notes directly, I'm just gonna tell you what I experienced with this fragrance. When I first spray it on, to me the woods are actually quite forward. I get a touch of spice, but not really a lot, and it is a little powdery, so there's a kind of an underlying freshness to it, but not heavily floral. I get the woods more than anything right off the top. Yeah, so to me the opening is a fresh, woody kind of vibe. Once it kind of dries down, gets to the mid, those woods turn down just a little bit, and it gets a touch more powdery, but not a whole lot. I do see iris listed on the Parfumo website, so there is kind of an iris vibe here, but it's not overly powdery. It just stays very smooth, has a little bit of an airiness to it, but the woods do still remain, and the sweetness is throughout the life of the fragrance. But once it dries completely down, you definitely get a smooth, kind of vanillic, almost syrupy, but not heavily syrup, almost as if it's a sugar-free syrup. If you've ever had sugar-free syrup, that can often kind of come off as like a watered-down version of syrup, but not completely. That's kind of what I get from this. It's almost like a sugar-free syrupy vibe, nice vanillic touch to it, and stays nice and smooth, a little bit of creaminess to it, and it just stays like that throughout the dry down and pretty much for the rest of the life of the fragrance. There's a little bit of movement to this. It's not very linear, but it's not super complex either, but it is very pleasant smelling. Like I said before, there's just a touch of smokiness to it, but I wouldn't really call it a smoky fragrance, even though Carolina Herrera listed as such. All that being said, I think it is very pleasant. I think it's a great smelling scent. I think it's a great release. Definitely something that is very different from what you typically see from most of the designer releases that come out right now, where they're all kind of that maybe slightly gourmand, very tonka bean heavy, kind of ambery, just sweet fragrances that have some woods in them. I think most people would like this fragrance. I don't know if it's gonna be for everyone. I don't know if everyone would say this is the best release of the year. To me, this is one of the best releases of the year so far. I did pay full retail for this. I think it was $110. I bought it from Dillard's and just went and picked it up. That's where I actually smelled it. That's the first place I saw it. I haven't seen it at any other retail store, so I don't know if any of the other ones have it. I don't know if this is gonna show up on discounters. I imagine it would. It'll probably go for a pretty good price on there as well. So if you want to wait to see if it pops up on discounters, I would say that's worth it. But it is a limited release, so you know, once they're done with it, they're going to be done with it. From a seasonal perspective, I would say this is kind of a transitional fragrance, good for spring, particularly early spring. If you're in, you know, up north where you actually get, you know, some different seasons. I'm in Florida, so we kind of skip spring pretty quickly here, so I kind of just have to wear it when I can. I would also say it's really good for fall as well. You could wear it in winter, but it doesn't really have that weight that would make it cut through the cold, so that's why I say this is more of a transitional fragrance. I would also say it's a good night out fragrance, kind of an evening wear fragrance. You could wear this through the day too. It's not very forward in terms of its sweetness or its woodiness or even its smokiness, so you probably could wear this any time of the day, but I would say it probably would shine more so for an evening fragrance, a nice night out. That's where this one would probably serve its purpose the best. Would I recommend that you try to pick this up this year? I would say if you want something that is not the same as what most of the designers are coming out with in terms of this kind of slightly sweeter fragrances, then yes, go for this one. I think this one kind of stands on its own from some of the other releases that are coming out right now that fit this kind of scent profile, where you're gonna have woods, you're gonna have maybe some resins, you're gonna have a little bit of sweetness to it. This one I think is the most different if you want something that's not gonna be indicative of what has already been coming out from a lot of designers. And also, you know, this is not a freshy release, so you know, obviously it's gonna stand apart from that as well. Is it a must-have in your collection? I'm gonna say no. I don't think it is that unique, but the fact that they're selling it for $110 at full retail, if it pops up on discounters, and I think, I don't know, maybe it'll be like 60 or 70 or something like that. I'm just guessing. If you want to pick it up to just, you know, get another one from this line in terms of, you know, what they do with the collection, if you will, you pick it up then, but I don't think it's a must-have. But that being said, I do think it is a good release for the year so far. It's just different from everything else that's coming out right now. So to me, I wanted to pick it up as soon as I smelled it, because I do think it smells very good. I do think it is a well done fragrance. Last thing before I wrap this up, it's not a beast mode scent. I do get some pretty good push off of my skin for the first couple of hours. After that, it sits a little bit closer to the skin. But for me personally, it stays on my skin for a very long time, even though it may not project that well after the first couple of hours. I sprayed it on my arm just to kind of test it again yesterday, kind of mid to late morning. And when I woke up this morning, it was still on my arm. I could still pick it up. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for today. That was Carolina Herrera CH Men Pasion. If you've smelled this fragrance already, let me know what you think about it down in the comments. Do you think this is a solid release? I really think it is a solid release, and I hope whatever they come out with next year is a good follow-up to this one, or if they come out with another one for this year, also a good follow-up. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well.